Hello, it's boundary option only day today. Looking at the Euro USD to start things off, we're going to go for a few hours here. Genesis Elite is recommending a boundary option with a 32% probability of price staying inside the current boundary. Therefore, an outside boundary trade carries higher probabilities logically. So we'll invest 1,000 into this trade. Once we enter, the trade will expire at 12:45 in roughly 25 minutes time. All right, we're back with roughly 30 odd seconds remaining in this first Euro USD boundary option. We've exited the boundary. We're outside the boundary quite comfortably. We have very little time left for the trade to expire, and the price looks like it's continuing in downwards momentum, with ITM Smart Money confirming that we are looking at stronger bearish volume than bullish volume, which is just enough confidence for us at this stage, since we barely have a few seconds left in this trade. Now, given that we're only doing boundary opportunities today, as you can see, we've got three currency pairs open: the Euro USD, Japanese Yen, and the GBP USD. Once this trade expires and the funds are released, we're going to see if we're in a position to take another boundary trade on the Euro USD. The chart, however, doesn't look like it's presenting us with that at the moment, according to Genesis Elite. So once we've expired, we will go ahead and see if we have opportunities on the Euro, Japanese Yen, and GBP USD. You may be wondering why we're doing this slightly new routine today. Well, firstly, a lot of people have requested that we do longer sessions. And secondly, we thought it'd be interesting to combine a few currency pairs, high volatility pairs, and use one major Genesis Elite strategy at a time per trading session to exemplify how long trading sessions can be pretty good, and how Genesis Elite gives you the confidence to trade on multiple currency pairs with high volatility properties during the day. So we're going to shoot for at least 4 to 5 and see how well we do. All right, 3 minutes later from the last trade's expiry, and we're now looking at a Euro Japanese Yen boundary opportunity. 6.67% probability of price staying inside this current boundary, which is of course very low. Therefore, the logical choice is to go for an outside boundary trade on the Euro Japanese Yen, this to expire at 13:15 GMT, roughly half an hour from now. The GBP USD is what we'll focus on next. Looks pretty flat, doesn't look like we have any opportunities. Definitely don't have a boundary option opportunity, so stay tuned and we'll come back to you shortly just before expiry. Okay, we're back with roughly 10 seconds remaining on this boundary trade on the Euro Japanese Yen. Price has once again exited the boundary. It's very volatile conditions. We've exited the boundary in both directions, upwards and downwards, but have finished in the downwards direction. We've now expired in the money outside the boundary, and we're looking at more boundary opportunities showing up here. As you can see, Euro Japanese Yen exhibiting yet another boundary opportunity, which we may well take if it's still available after the platform has calculated expiry. Now, you may be noticing that despite having more available funds, we're choosing not to go for any more trades before the ones expire. Now, the reasoning behind that is if you develop some patience, especially during your trading session when you're focusing on one strategy, try to stick to outcomes and then decide whether you want to take more risk, you want to go for more trades. Don't go willy-nilly into every single trading opportunity. Wait for a trade to expire and see how you're positioned later. So we don't have any more boundary options available up until 13:35 according to the platform. So what we'll do is we'll take a break and come back to you just before 13:35. Okay, we're back. It's 13:34:52, just a few seconds before these options become available again on the platform. So once they do, we'll wait for the prices to load. Then we'll take a look at the charts. And if after the prices have loaded and there is still an opportunity shown by ITM Genesis Elite, there is currently one, but we don't have the option available on the platform yet. The prices are still loading. We'll come back and check this out once the prices have loaded, which they should shortly. There we are. So let's go back to the chart and see if that opportunity still exists. And no, we've missed it. So we'll come back when it does surface. Okay, a few more minutes have gone by, roughly 4 or 5. We're back on the Euro Japanese Yen, and a boundary opportunity has matured. We're looking at a 35% probability of price staying in this boundary, and the prices have loaded. So we'll shoot for an outside boundary trade on this particular setup as well. That's a pretty wide upper and lower range, roughly 9 pips, but that's okay. This is a high volatility pair. So we've now entered the trade on the Euro Japanese yen for another outside boundary condition where Genesis Elite says the probability of price staying inside is very low. Back again with roughly 30 seconds remaining. Look at that. That is an explosive exit from the boundary. It is so far away from the boundary, there is absolutely no likelihood of that coming back. What we're looking at is obviously a breakout, and if you've experienced the Euro Japanese yen before, you'll know that breakouts on this currency pair in particular can be very, very explosive, as is the case over here. This breakout has obviously scored us this trade very early on in its lifetime, and we've got literally a second left to expiry here, and we have expired. So that's 1,590 gross return on this trade. The platform is calculating expiry. Same drill. We're going to wait for the platform to finish calculating expiry and release those funds. Even though we have funds available to execute more trades, the idea behind waiting is to go a trade at a time in today's session. So we're going to focus only on boundary opportunities, and we're going to go a trade at a time. Once the expiry is complete, we will go back to the chart to see if another trade condition is available, and we'll take it in that manner. No hurries and no rushing about, looking at every single opportunity and maxing out exposures, none of that. So we've expired now. Funds have been released. Let's go back to the chart and see if we have another opportunity available shortly on the same Euro Japanese yen. It looks like we do. So we're looking at a 19% probability of price staying inside this current boundary. So we'll shoot for, yet again, an outside boundary trade on the Euro Japanese yen, looking to expire at 14.45 in roughly half an hour from now. Once we're in, we will exit this session, come back to you just before expiry, and it looks like a decent trade. There is some choppy behavior though. Okay, we're back with roughly 8 seconds remaining. Doesn't look like this trade is going to make it. We may just barely make it, but we're so close to the boundary with so little time that we have now expired outside of the money, meaning this trade is going to be a loss once the platform has calculated expiry. No problem. We have 3 winners so far and 1 loss, which is this one. 4 trades have been taken in succession using a disciplined approach, using ITM Genesis Elite the whole time to exploit outside boundary opportunities only. So though this trade has expired, we're still profitable in this session so far. We're not going to stop at the moment. We're going to keep looking for boundary opportunities. This is a loss. That's never a good thing. No problem. 3 wins, 1 loss so far, a total of 4 trades. Once the platform finishes calculating expiry, we'll come back to the charts. The option isn't available until 15:05, so we'll wait until then and come back just before the option becomes available again on the platform. Okay, it's 15:04:55, a few seconds away from these options on the boundary platform becoming available again, so we'll wait for that to happen. Do the prices have loaded, offloaded, possibly a browser thing going on. Does happen in Google Chrome sometimes. Let me refresh the screen. Let's go back to boundary there. It should load up. Yeah, there we are. So the options there, it's available, but the prices are loading. So let's wait for the prices to load. Should be any time now. There we are. 13 pip range. Okay. So Genesis Elite says 25, roughly 30% probability of price staying inside this current boundary. That's good enough. Therefore, we'll shoot for the logical choice, which is the outside boundary option. Once again, on the Euro Japanese yen, quickly confirm that we still have it. Yes, we do. Roughly 31, 32% probability of price staying inside the boundary. Obviously very low. Therefore, we'll go for an outside boundary option. Same amount again and get in on this trade. Once we're in, we will wait for the trade to play out over the next 40 minutes and come back to you just before the trade's expiry. Okay, we're back with roughly 26 seconds remaining. We have exited the boundary very comfortably, even though the pip range was quite high. It was roughly 13 pips. It is the Euro-Japanese yen after all, which is a very high volatility pair. If you're trading Forex on this pair, you'll know that spreads on this pair are 5 pips on their own. So 13 pips isn't really very much. And of course, on a binary broker like Binary International, we have 0 spread. So we're looking at market price here. We have a couple of seconds remaining to expiry, very comfortably expiring here in the money. As was expected, with this setup being a very high probability setup. This concludes 5 trades so far. We've had 5 consecutive trades. It has been roughly 3 hours, almost 3 hours on this session now. We've had 5 trades, 4 winners and 1 loser just before this trade, which has now expired in the money and hence is a winning trade. We've now expired, just waiting for the platform to calculate expiry here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this session. The idea was to incorporate discipline, use a high probability setup from ITM Genesis Elite, follow instructions according to ITM Genesis Elite. So if you see a boundary opportunity, then you take it only if the platform and Genesis Elite, obviously if it's available on the platform, and 2, if Genesis Elite says it's a good opportunity. Now, we've discussed the outside boundary exploit at great length in the webinar as well. So if you haven't watched the webinar and you need some more ideas on how to use it, or perhaps you need some more information on how to actually use the outside boundary exploit in a live trading environment, please do register for the training webinar. It is free to register and free to attend, of course. That'll give you some more highlights on how that works out. Today is a session that's been dedicated to outside boundary trading. We're going to call it a day now. It's been a few hours trading. We've had 5 consecutive trades. We've had an 80% win rate, 4 wins, 1 loss, and the amounts have been fixed at exactly the same amount. So there's no discrepancy in a trade's profit being different from the other, apart from a few dollars here and then, maybe a percentage point difference in the payouts at different times of day. So hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching.